What's going on, Jeromes? Happy Monday out there, everyone, everywhere. Daily Jeromes live stream, Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m.-ish Central Time. Talking Vikings, talking free agency, talking the draft. We got some Qs. Hopefully we got some As. Let's get this thing going. Jesse Krikers. With all these one-year contracts the Vikings are signing, do you think this is it for Mike and Rick? Super Bowl or bust? Yes. I think this team is all in. Look at the guys that are on one-year deals. Anthony Barr, Reed hit his deal, one-year deal. Nick Vigils, one-year deal. Patrick Peterson, one-year deal. Mack, Xavier Woods. I mean, Dalvin Thompson's only on a two-year deal. So, yeah, the Vikings are all in. And if it doesn't work out, I think they might break up this team. Kevin Ace. It's shocking that Eric Wilson hasn't signed yet. Can you see him returning post-June 1st? Possibly. Maybe not with Nick Vigil in the building. But linebacker depth, if he's cheap. I mean, if we're talking about like league minimum cheap, sure. But yeah, it is surprising that Wilson hasn't found his spot yet. Abi Asuji. Could the Vikings trade for Orlando Brown Jr. and sign Trey Turner? Yes. Unlikely? Yes. Thomas Menino. Cornerback all of a sudden is looking pretty crowded. How are we getting all these guys on the field? Also, I'll be disappointed if the Vikings don't sign Austin Blythe. I really want to go BPA in the draft, and signing Austin does that. Well, there's going to be competition, which is good. I think one guy may eventually move to safety. I mean, Xavier Woods, you pencil him in as your starter, but, you know, if he's the third safety, I think that might be better. Could Patrick Peterson still move to free safety, even though he said in his interview that he's not moving? Okay. We'll find out once OTAs and training camp start. We'll see what happens. But you're going to play Dantzler. You're going to play Patrick Peterson. You're going to play Gladney and Mack. And you still have Mike Hughes. You still have Chris Boyd. You still have Harrison Hand. You still have Dylan Mabin. So, I mean, something's got to give there. Rob E. What about trading up with the Eagles, Giants, or Dallas to make sure we get Darisaw, get to 11 or 12 for a third or fourth or third? To get Darisaw specifically, yes, I would do that. Miles. Mac Jones to the Patriots, or does he even make it to 15? I think all five of the big five quarterbacks go in the top 10 at this point, yes. Every quarterback table for the celebrated. James Quayle. Just curious, was Holton Hill already out of the league? I haven't heard a word about him since we cut his ass. Yeah, I haven't heard about any tryouts or any interest, so I think he just might be chilling. Maybe he doesn't want to play. Maybe that's part of it too. Connor May, watch AFL. It's a sport league. The game is called footy. Just watch it afterwards or make a video. It's your... Aussie Rules Football. Aussie Rules Football is awesome. It's like the perfect hybrid between American football and rugby. Reed Ockwig, thoughts on a different offensive line coach candidates? Yes, do it. There was a couple of names out there, but I'm blanking at the moment. Basically anyone except for Dennison. Oh, the guy who was recently let go from the Rams. What was his name? It doesn't matter. Tristan D. My dream scenario for the Vikings is they trade for Orlando Brown Jr. by giving up a future first and sign a guard and then draft an edge with the first pick. I'd be okay with the future first, actually. I'd be okay with 14, to be honest. 80s, baby. Who would you compare Kwity Paye to in the NFL and why? Well, the Brandon Graham comparisons are there, but he's not as long and tall as Brandon Graham. Basically, if you did a combination of Brandon Graham, I mean, beyond the whole Michigan comparisons, but stoutness on the edge, as well as maybe some of the size factor of Dwight Freeney. Of course, Dwight Freeney was like 6 foot, like 245. You know, Kwity Paye is 6'2", 272. But combination there, and he's just really athletic and just really stout. Right? If he can stay healthy, I think he could become one of the top 15-ish edge rushers in the game, maybe higher. Cop Car 05. How'd you feel about Micah Parsons' 4.40 time? That's the thing about all these pro days. Like, did you see what Jason Owe did or what Zach Wilson did as pro day or Micah Parsons? It just confirmed what we already knew. Like, we knew that Micah Parsons was going to be a physical freak. Same thing with Owe. We knew that Zach Wilson can throw the ball off balance and off schedule. Cool. But, yeah, Micah Parsons is a bad mother. Absolutely is. Rohit Anapati. Do you see the Vikings run more dime looks now that we have two slot cornerbacks in Mack and Gladney? I don't think dime specifically, but you could see more 6 defensive back looks. It was Xavier Woods in the mix as well, Patrick Peterson. So it could be like a 3-2-6 nickel look where you have 6 DBs and you still have Barr and Kendricks, 3 down linemen, and maybe Barr rushes more. Could see something like that. Almighty JD. Say we sign Blythe. How do you feel about Micah Parsons 14? Yes. Yes. Barnes on a 1-year deal. Vigil's on a 1-year deal. Yes. Micah Parsons is a bad dude. Eric Manteufel. What are the odds a starting guard tackle will be signed before the draft for the Vikes? Well, they have cap space. Depending on Mac Alexander's signing bonus, the Vikings do have about a little bit shy of $7 million in cap space. So they could easily sign Austin Blythe now. They could trade for Orlando Brown and work out an extension later on because he's still on his rookie deal, like a third round rookie deal. Third round, right? Mid round. Doesn't matter. So yes, they certainly could. Now, this could be a spot where the Vikings are just playing hardball. Like the Vikings would have signed Xavier Woods weeks ago, except they were just playing hardball. Eventually they gave in, rightfully so. Spartus, after all the departures and additions to the team, who do you think will be the captains for this upcoming season? So Kirk, Barr, Dalvin, so returning captains. Harrison, so that's 4. 2 on offense, 2 on defense. I can see Eric Wilson finally putting on the C. That makes sense. Maybe Daniil Hunter. I could see Dalvin Tomlinson being a first-year captain since he wore the C with the Giants. Just a really good dude, team leader, good on and off the field. And so that'd be 3. I mean, I feel like Kendricks is a little bit like Harrison, where he's a leader, but in everything but title. So that's whatever. Maybe Thielen. Maybe Thielen takes the Kyle Rudolph skill position guy, captain. Wooly, are you really open to having guys switch positions on offensive line? Feels like we shoot ourselves in the foot, blah, 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 blah. Well, what were we talking about? We're talking about like Ezra moving to left tackle. That's not really a position switch because Ezra is naturally a left tackle. So that's really no skin off my nose. But, I mean, you talk about position changes, but, I mean, it worked out with Joe Berger. Right? It worked out with Mike Harris until, unfortunately, he got sick. So, I mean, it can be done. It can be done. Ty Smith. Patrick Peterson wearing 28 for the meme of the year. That would be great. I mean, people wouldn't have to buy new jerseys. So, actually, maybe conspiratorially, that's why they won't do it, because people could just wear 28 Peterson jerseys. Let us know where you're watching from. We'll give a couple shout-outs. Reed Ockwig. Thoughts on Hinton stepping up this year? I think he's a sleeper. I think everyone is generally aware of Oli Udoh, but Kyle Big Hinton, the 7th-round pick out of Washburn, where not only did he have to deal with a position switch because he was a left tackle for the Ichabods playing D2 Washburn, but also need to add size. I believe he was 298 coming in, but he does have really good anchor for his size. Phenomenal athlete. He was like all-American track athlete. I believe he did like the discus and hammer toss, if I'm not mistaken, but just a phenomenal kid. And you saw how the Vikings kept him on the practice squad all year and then put him on the 53 for week 17, didn't dress him because they were spooked that another team was going to come in and scoop him. So he's my dark horse, man. I think that he is going to be a force no matter who they bring in, no matter who they draft. If it's an open competition, truly open competition, unlike last year, I mean, Kyle Hinton could make some noise, man. Kyle Hinton is going to be that dude. Next up, Carver Hammond. I think if any of the top 3 receivers are gone, you got to take them, or there, or even with AVT there. What do you think about that? Yes. But if Darrisaw's there, no. Well, what are we talking about for top 3 receivers? Because Jamar Chase is extremely unlikely unless there's a gas mask bond video coming out where I don't even think that he would get that far. So we're talking about, I don't think Pitts. Well, let's just talk about Waddle and Devontae. If either of them are on board, I would take them over AVT. I would not take them over Darrisaw. It's WAS. Do you potentially see a trade for someone like Mike Hughes due to a crowded cornerback room? Yeah, it won't be for much. Like maybe a 7th-round pick. Some team thinks that maybe he can stay healthy and maybe they can salvage his career. A couple shout-outs. Caio Baldrini, Skull from Rio de Janeiro, what's up? Jabrisky, Skull from Trempealeau, Wisconsin, what's going on? Purple Rain, what's up? Brock Swanson, Casson, Pulford Skull, Nashville, Hot Chicken, Mike Benham, Grand Rapids, Daniel Tuma, Skull from Maryland. You guys are the best. Thanks for coming along. Next up, Alex Zeller. If GM and head coach jobs are make or break this year, what's the minimum result needed for them to stay? I think they at least have to get to the NFC title game. Like you have to win the division. You have to at least win a playoff game. I think that's the bare minimum. Ted Schiffen. I like the cornerback depth added. All three of the young guys struggled to stay healthy last year. One/both of either Gladney or Mack will probably play slot and outside corner at times. Yes. Between the two, who do you like better in the slot? I like Gladney better in the slot because I like Mack on the outside better. Because Mack on the outside at Clemson was a bad dude, and then just kicked him inside because he's short. And then eventually, 2018, after Hughes got hurt, he played the slot extremely proficiently. He did okay in 2019. He played well for the Bengals this year. But I think Gladney's upside in the slot versus him on the outside makes a lot more sense. Tad Skull. Do the Vikings actually have to wait until June to spend the Rudy money? On paper, yes. But of course, there could be understandings with certain players. Maybe that's why Austin Blythe is just out there chilling that, hey, after June 1st, we're in, right? That's also technically Nick Vigil's contract hasn't been filed with the NFL. So he's technically not on the roster. So the Vikings technically have $1.75 million more in space than they do on paper right now. But this could also factor into like Danielle Hunter and Harrison Smith and their extensions. Like, hey, just chill. Because you think about the Danielle situation, it's been quiet. It's been pretty damn quiet since the Chad Graff and then Paul Allen rebuttal. So, yeah, maybe there's an understanding. June 1st, big time extension. We'll see. Road Anapati. How far do you think we can trade down and still get AVT? I think you have to get ahead of the Steelers at 24. I think that's his rock bottom. I think that Washington 19, Chicago 20, Colts 21. I think that's the order. Don't quote me on that. It would be hard for him to get by that gauntlet. So I'll actually amend that. Say 18 Dolphins. Yeah. Ezekiel Lockhart. Number one, ever seen Karen in the wild? No. Number two, I don't like black Vikings jerseys. It's a little bit forward. Number three, have you ever had a concussion? I've had 9 confirmed. I had one in high school football, and I had one from a car accident. They're not fun. Thomas Meneno. Trade down to the bottom of the first round, draft Landon Dickerson, and get a second-round pick. I mean, yes, in theory, but that's not always a guarantee. Like, who are the Bucs going to come up and get? Right? Who are the Chiefs going to come up and get? So it always takes two to tango. But I'm more up to the idea of taking Dickerson in the first round. Like later on, 14 seems a little bit too spicy, but later on, yes. I mean, Dickerson's a dude. Also was a record for most 7th-round picks in a single draft. I think we might be close. Oh, we don't have any right now. It's probably 4. Vikings have had 4 multiple times. Justin C. Any idea if linebacker Cameron Smith will be playing the season? He seems to be good to go. I think Spielman mentioned him in his presser that he's rehabbing and he's going to be locked in and good to go. Where Cameron Smith was good. Cameron Smith was solid his rookie year. He was the only one of the 12 draft picks that didn't make the initial 53. But eventually he got on there, played some good special teams. And, I mean, that's scary, man. Open heart surgery. But he'll come back stronger. He'll get after it. And I think he's got the good attitude. And I like him. 80s baby. Is AVT climbing draft boards after his pro day? Would you take him or Wyatt Davis if Wyatt wasn't injured? If Wyatt Davis was not injured, like, at all, like, so taking away the injury in the title game as well as the injury that he had during the entire season, I would take Wyatt Davis. Because I think Wyatt Davis's 2019 was slightly better than AVT. But yeah, AVT being healthy as well as able to perform as pro day, I'm sure is helping up his draft status. But yeah, like everyone creams their jeans over his left tackle play. It was solid. It was fine. He's a left guard, man. He's a left guard. Climate. Would you be okay with the Vikings trading up for Lance during the draft? Broncos get Kirk and we get first and second this and next year. I mean, yeah. I don't think George Payton will go for that. Isaac G. Would you agree with me saying we're one good offensive line piece away from being really serious Super Bowl contenders? I'll say 2. But yeah, I pretty much agree with that. Because that defense, on paper, on purpose, damn, man. Damn, Gina. Plus, that offense is going to be legit. I mean, come on. How can that be with Dalvin and Jefferson and Clint Kubiak and Kirk if he can be protected? Sean Scrimshaw. With free agency focus on the defense, do you expect Spielman to focus on the offense for the draft? Yes. Ken Boy Johnson. If the Vikings sign a guard, who would you take at 14? I like Devontae Smith at 14, kick returner and future wide receiver too. If he's there, I would take Devontae. But overall, it's weird because the top guy on the board or one of the top guys could be offensive line. So you could just be addressing need through osmosis. So I would take Darrisaw over Slater. I would take Slater over AVT. No, let's go with the big board. So I would take on guys who potentially could be there. Yeah, this is a bit of a stretch, but I would take Darrisaw at 1, Micah Parsons at 2, Kyle Pitts at 3, maybe put Kyle Pitts at 2. I would put Devontae Smith at 4. I would put Slater at 5. I would put Waddle at 7. I would put AVT at 8. Put JC Horn at 9 or Surtain. I mean, they're interchangeable to me. But, I mean, hell, if Caleb Farley's there, because he might get dinged for his medicals. Derek Baker. I have a hunch this trade involving a starter or 2 plus draft picks is coming. Yeah, it would be great. Orlando Brown, come on down. Number 2. Oh, I think about trading Harrison Smith. Nah, I don't think they are. Number 2, would you please rank the unsigned free agent interior offensive lineman share if AVT did? So, unsigned free agents with the draft picks. So I would go specifically interior guys. Well, Darrisaw's in there too. I would go Darrisaw, Mitchell Schwartz, even though that's unlikely. Darrisaw, Mitchell Schwartz, even though, again, he's not an interior offensive lineman, but either is Darrisaw. AVT, Blythe, Dickerson, Turner, Lamp, Ben Cleveland. Now, I'll go. I'll go Trey Smith. With Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Ben Cleveland. I don't know. I have to pull up my rankings. I don't have it up top of my head. Jaime Kukin. You make fun of your Justin Jefferson take last year. It's pretty easy to. But what are some takes you have been right about? I don't really remember. Like, we have so many takes that even when we're right, like when the sun shines on a cat's ass, whatever the saying is, I just sort of forget about it. But nah. Max Kallenberg, get Austin Blythe and Orlando Brown Super Bowl IMO. Yes, indeed. OTM Snipes, would you take Lamp over Blythe in general? No, even though Blythe is going to be more expensive than Lamp. Given the health questions with Lamp, I would take Blythe. Not that I'm out on Lamp either. Griffin Creer, if we sign Blythe or Lamp, do you think Rick would go BPA or address the O-line? BPA, but again, like we said, BPA could be O-line. It could be Darrisaw, it could be AVT. Lucas, would you rather like an edge rusher over a linebacker at 14? So basically it's Kwity Paye or Micah Parsons or Rousseau or Parsons or Aziz or Parsons. Because I don't know, I like Zayvon Collins. I like Joke. I think 14 is a little bit too early for them. So, I'll take Micah Parsons. Alex Zeller. Say the Vikings don't address O-line until 3rd round at the earliest and get someone like Kendrick Green or Josh Myers. Left to right, you have Ezra, Cole, Bradbury, rookie guard, O'Neal, blah, blah, blah. I would be okay with that. I wouldn't be thrilled about it. Plus, Austin Blythe is still hanging out there, so just go get him. Joshua Laurie. You can get one offensive lineman to complete the Vikings free agency. Who is it and why? Austin Blythe, $4 million. Let's go. Kevin Ace. What are your thoughts on USC safety Helenoa Hufanga? I like him. I just call him Hufanga because I don't know. For some reason, I struggle with the first name, but I think he's a really good all-around safety. He can play some box, can play some free safety, can play in the slot as well. Decent against the run, decent in coverage. I think that there are better safeties for specific jobs. Like Trevor Moore gets a better all-around safety. Javon Holland is a better free safety. Cisco and Richie Grant bring the wood a little bit better, but overall, if you can get him in the 4th round, I think that would be really, really good value. Mano Giscus. Who would you take if Devontae Smith, AVT, Micah Parsons, Kwity Paye all on bar 14? You can't trade back. Devontae. Yeah, I would order Devontae, Parsons, AVT, Kwity. Casey Wall. Who do you think the Vikings could realistically draft to go to the Super Bowl with if they give up future first or second for Orlando Brown Jr.? Man, if they get Micah Parsons at 14 after trading for Orlando Brown, or if they get, well, problem is if you get Darrisaw, then where does he play? I guess you can kick him inside the guard, but they take AVT and they get Orlando Brown. So left to right, it would be Orlando Brown, AVT or Ezra, Bradbury, AVT or Ezra, and then O'Neal. That's a Super Bowl caliber offensive line, baby. It is. Robbie, I love our free agency moves because they give us a lot more leeway in the draft. I hope we get our left tackle, Darrisaw, Slater, AVT. But if he's gone, plan B could be Ezra left tackle and going guard in third or fourth. Does Edge, Pay, or Rousseau become next priority for a talent upgrade? Possibly, but also if Micah makes it, that would be a tough decision. If one of the wide receivers makes it, yes. And I mean, there's more prevailing wisdom that Caleb Farley might be there, where he might not even be the cornerback one anymore just because of his medicals. But Caleb Farley's a bad dude. Yeah. Or if Horn or Farley or there or Surtain, I would understand it, even though safety is already loaded. Or hell, did they just take Trevin Morig at 14? That seems a little bit spicy. It seems a little bit rich, but he's really good. And since you don't have a second round pick, you're going to be out of range of Richie Grant and Jevon Holland. So do you just stick and pick? Mad Mobile, how big is your recording setup? I mean, not big. I mean, we have a USB mic, we have a desktop, we have 2 monitors, we have a camera. That's it. Ethan Griffith, all Cardinals fans I hear from dislike Mason Cole. That's a red flag, right? Well, think about how many Vikings fans dislike Anthony Barr, and Anthony Barr is still a good player. Now, Mason Cole, is he an everyday starter that you want to just put on your offensive line and you're good to go? No. I think that his best role would be that interior swing backup a la the new Brett Jones, but he's certainly in a new situation. He's a scheme fit, and I think he could find a second life with a change of scenery. I mean, kid's a solid dude. He was a third-round pick for a reason. Tristan D. If Penei Sewell falls, let's say Joe Burrow talks the Bengals in drafting Chase and the Dolphins draft Smith, should the Vikings make a deal with the Lions trade up? Yes. I don't even care if Brad Holmes and the Lions claw our eyes up because we're division rivals. I don't care. Go get them. Braden Newman, is there going to be OTAs? There hasn't been an announcement, but I don't see why not. With the vaccinations and safety protocols and everything starting to open up, I don't see why there wouldn't be. A Pulford Skull, rumors circulating Vikings are done making moves for agency for defense. Who else I got to get? Clowney, Houston, or Ingram? None. None of the above. Houston is aged out. Same thing with Ingram. Clowney, I mean, if Clowney's cheap, like if we're talking about like $5 million for Clowney, sure, but I'm not overpaying for Clowney. Nah. LB, El Jefe over Mac. It's going to be an open competition. It better be. Like, it's going to be a slobber knocker drag down fight if they're fighting for one spot. Amza Abdi. I wish the front office wasn't so boring by making small market trades. I want them to go big like Miami or the 2020 Vikings where they traded the Minneapolis. Wait, so you're complaining that they aren't making big trades when they made a big trade last year? I don't know. It's like fans complaining about in 2019, 2020 free agency that the Vikings signed one. They just signed Kirk Cousins, the largest free agent contract in NFL history. But Christine Hansen, propane or charcoal grill. So we use propane, charcoal, and pellet grill. Usually the gas grill for weeknights if you're just cooking chicken or hot dogs or brats or burgers, whatever. But low key, Traeger burgers, amazing. So you get that wood flavor, juicy. They're good to go. Plus, you don't even have to flip them. You literally just set them on the smoker at 425 for 20 minutes. They're great. But charcoal on the weekends, because with this little ghetto hibachi, which I specifically bought it because it reminds me of, so in Vietnam, I'm sure in all Asia, there's these small shops where they just have a little charcoal grill and then some little Asian dude in flip-flops that's just sitting on a bucket and just doing skewers of meat. So there's nothing better than like charcoal, like skewered, like beef kebabs or chicken thighs where you got the skin on it. So then that skin renders and then that fat just hits those charcoals. I mean, that smell, like if you can bottle that smell, It's amazing. Chris Danny Hansen prediction: Bears sell the farm, trade up to overdraft Kyle Trask. Thoughts? Do it. Do it. Flying Kite: is our defense getting to be better or worse than last year? Better. Better. I mean, come on. It could be as good as 2017. Abi Asuji: how do you make so many videos? Do you drink Red Bull or some drink, or do you just, or are you just a hustler? Hustle. So yeah, got full-time job, got family, got responsibilities, but enjoy doing this because it's still fun. I like the community. I like talking about the Vikings. We'll be talking about this team, this damn stupid team anyway. So glad that we could, get a couple people and, help get some laughs, get some information out there. Because you don't really get it from the national media, jabroni haircuts, locals, whatever. Yeah. Miles, Chris Sims. Oh, and it just comes down to, no Red Bull. I really cut back caffeine. I drink matcha tea and I drink, half a cup of coffee in the morning. That's really about it. But just get after it. Just put in the work. Yeah, people always look for this magic pill or this one trick to lose belly fat or whatever. No. Just do the work. Keep your nose to the grindstone and just go. Miles, Chris Sims and his connections with Shanahan make me think that Kellen Mond will be the shocker pick at 3. God, that would throw a wrench in the draft. That would be insane. I think it's unlikely. It would be slightly more shocking than Daniel Jones to the Giants 3 years ago. No one thought Daniel Jones was going to go that high. And then Gettleman's holding my beer. But no. But that's it. That's the Daily Jerome's live stream for the day. You guys are the best. Thanks for coming along. We'll talk to you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time, because I was wrong on the time. We don't have to change Tuesday. So